I'm Leonora Petrovna Samoilova. I'm 65 years old. When I was 30, I had my uterus removed. Surgery was performed on the uterus and the right ovary. A tumor had formed inside the uterus, and thus the uterus was removed. The operation took place in Novosibirsk in a biological hospital. Today I live in Moscow. When I found out about the center of Arcady Petrov, where a unique healing method is done, I went there. During a seminar, Petrov spoke about the regeneration of organs, and at the same time this process had taken in all of the audience, including me. 2 months after this process was initiated, I went to a screening with a doctor to find out what's really happening inside me. At first, I did not tell her that my uterus and right ovary had been removed before. I asked the doctor to look at what's actually happening inside me and what condition my organs are. The doctor started to explain that my uterus is in normal condition, but slightly smaller, and at the same time, she told me that this is normal for my age. I also asked her to tell me in what state my right ovary was. She told me that the right ovary, the regenerated one, was in normal condition and of normal size. She also told the nurse who wrote down these data that the right one, the regenerated ovary, was larger than the left one, which had never been removed and always stayed in my body. I informed her that I'm in the process of regeneration of these organic parts. It is difficult to describe her reaction because she began to doubt that these organs had ever been removed. She asked me whether I would like a print of the ultrasonic. Yes, of course, I said. Well, this doctor for sure kept a certain distance from me from that moment on. Even after I showed her all the documents stating which organs had been removed before, her doubts remained.
Подозрительность, то, что я ее ввожу в заблуждение. Тоже спросили у меня, верю ли я в то, что у меня вообще-то была удалена.
Well, this reaction is completely normal for people who have read the trilogy of books, Creation of the World by Arcady Petrov, because in this book there are many examples of the regeneration of organs listed. Many examples of how the organism can be healed through the technologies performed in the center of Arcady Petrov. I have seen it myself at my own experience, the efficiency of these methods.
Через технологии этого центра Аркадия Петрова. Эти методы работают. В этом я убедилась на собственном опыте.
Only 3 years later, reputable specialists, famous scientists, physicists, geneticists, biologists have already spoken about the remarkable possibilities of correction of health through mental exposure.
Для себя уже достаточно долго пытаюсь и в процессе дискуссии, а теперь уже просто сотрудничество.
For me, I've been trying for a long time in the process of discussion and simply in the cooperation with Arcady Petrov and his group to find the role of science here. Now I believe that I found a definition for myself, and the big army of academics, I hope, will find a definition for themselves too. This phenomenon has its origin in a very ancient period, the time of Jesus Christ. I would also say that this phenomenon does have a magical influence on the public. Thanks to the school of Arcady Petrov, Grigory Grabovoy and Igor Arapiev, people start learning. This process is moving pretty fast, and this is very nice. This is a certain time signal. I already talked about this last time. I guess this is the historical role of Russia, to be a leader in this strong, I would say, mass movement. Because this is about the health of the nation, which is a common problem. It's a problem of survival of mankind. Unfortunately, the human being is a very complicated system, and medicine has sadly failed to handle steadily increasing diseases. And we proceed further and further into a hopeless direction. And what their technology offers is, in essence, a solution to this problem. The importance of science remains, because the knowledge which clairvoyants receive are mainly in symbolic form. This is, in some ways, mentally high math, linguistic math, so to say, which is conveyed in a symbolic form. And it has to be decoded, which has been done in large areas already. Yet there are still many, many unintelligible spaces, and here the role of science is very important. Foremost among the biological sciences, genetics, and especially wave genetics, which I represent. We, as scientists, need to understand the principle of what actually happens when Arcady Petrov and his colleagues perceive such information. What are the mechanisms they activate in the brain? What does the clairvoyant actually effectuate? Without any literature, without any real knowledge, there are already people working at a low level in this area. All kinds of extrasensory powers and perceptions. People with a certain knowledge, but they are often achieving illusion rather than real results. And then, on the other hand, some of them do have considerable results. And finally, in such a strong group like of Grabovoi and Petrov, we have this phenomenon in its purest form. Time has come when the human race has to change their existence to a conscious level, based on the foundation of self-awareness of mankind. Man must understand its place in the universe to establish a harmonic structure of the human role in the universe, based on a logical perception of the world. What do you recommend to people? Harmonization of man and his environment, the search for new paradigms, which means imagination about people and their environment, and otherwise just purely practical developments, which are connected with helping people and especially with the positive correction of health.
Во-первых, мы фирма